In this lesson, we will discuss some more of the options that are part of the Delete Face feature. Open up the Delete Face part that is in your Chapter 4 folder for Infinite Skills working files. We've worked with something like this in the past, and I just want to demonstrate some additional capabilities. When we've looked at the Delete Face feature, we've kept the setting to delete. If we take a look at this by deleting the center hole face with the delete setting, SolidWorks changes the model from a solid body to a surface body. We can now see through to the inside of the part. But if we go back and edit the delete face feature and change that from delete to delete and patch, we'll get an entirely different result. In this case, SolidWorks has kept the model solid, but it's just removed the hole. We can remove some of these other holes as well using Delete Face with the Delete and Patch option by clicking on several faces and then clicking OK. There are some limitations of what you can get away with the Delete Face tool. You might remember that we removed the rib using Delete Face. So we can do that again. It means a fair bit of clicking around here. You can't just right click and get all tangent because it would get all the faces on the part. Now notice that this rib was carefully constructed. The fillet does not run into other fillets over here or here. And so the rib, along with the fillets around it, are completely surrounded by faces that can be extended. So we've got a surface here that's flat, it's a planar surface, another planar surface, and then a cylindrical surface. So we should be able to use this tool without any difficulty. Let's go ahead and click the green check, and SolidWorks again leaves the body as a solid body, and it just removes the rib. If we were to try to do the same thing over here, it might work, but it runs into so many other faces that it also might not work. Let's take a look. Got a lot more faces to select on this one. You could use a Windows Select to help you select some of the faces. Also, this toolbar that pops up might be of some use, but usually I spend more time trying to figure out what the toolbar is doing than it will actually save me. So with the delete and patch option and all those faces selected, let's see if SolidWorks will remove this rib. And it did, so we're in luck. Very often you can use the delete face to remove fillets. Typically we would just wind up doing this on an imported part, but we're treating this part as if it is imported. And here I'm going to remove all the fillets around the rib. And if you're going to select the faces of the fillet, you have to select them all. You won't get away with just selecting most of them or a few of them. You got to select them all. And so now let's see if SolidWorks is going to do this. And no, SolidWorks isn't going to remove all of those faces. So there are limits on what you can accomplish with the Delete Face tool. Sometimes you'll think it would work, but it may not. There is another option on the Delete Face tool that says Delete and Fill. Now let's go through all three of these options on this hole. With that selection, if I click on the green check, and I was using the Delete option here, SolidWorks just removes those faces, turns the solid into a surface. Now let's go back. Change that to delete and patch. And here it's as if there was never any hole there at all. SolidWorks has filled it in perfectly. Let's go back one more time, and this time use the delete and fill option. SolidWorks is failing for some reason on this one. So let's try the tangent fill option, and it fails again. Let's try something else. If we go back and we do not remove this face and this face, we only remove the bottom, let's see what happens. SOLIDWORKS has filled in the bottom portion of the hole. Now we'll use delete face with the delete and fill option to remove these two faces. When I click the green check, SOLIDWORKS removes it, but it also leaves an edge that shows that there was something here previously. This face has essentially been created by an automated fill surface. So if we go back and edit the feature, delete and fill is referring to the filled surface. Let's use delete face again to remove this face that was created by the delete and fill, but let's use the delete option. So we're just removing the face and changing the solid into a surface. Now I want to get rid of this hole altogether. And this is one of the few features in SOLIDWORKS where there is not any sort of formal command for this. You won't see an icon or a toolbar button or anything like that. So just click on the edge and then press delete on the keyboard. And SOLIDWORKS is going to ask you, do you want to delete the feature or do you want to delete the hole? And in this case, what I want to delete is the hole. So SOLIDWORKS has filled that in completely, but we still have a surface body. You would go through one of your usual methods to change that surface body into a solid. Where you're going to have some difficulty with some of these tools is if you have a feature that bridges faces like this. I'll do a trim, standard trim, circle, stuff to keep is on the outside, and I want to keep the face on the bottom as well. So this is just trimmed the flat face and a portion of the fillet. You may be able to get away with using the delete hole on something like this, but if you get surfaces that are more complex, that may be more difficult. So let's move that hole over to here. And here the delete hole fails, but reassigning it makes it work again. So the delete hole feature has 3 different modes. Delete, which will just remove the face and turn a solid into a surface. Delete and patch, which can be used on surface or solid models, and it will remain whichever type it was to begin with, but SOLIDWORKS will try to patch over any of the holes that are left. And delete and fill, which will allow SOLIDWORKS to use a separate feature. In the background, it's using the filled surface to fill in any holes. Delete and fill would be a workaround if delete and patch would not work.